Well, hello everyone. It's so good to be with you today. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Take 5. We are discussing the subject, the Faithful Steward. And this week we're talking about how to be good stewards of our time. And we've learned that the Bible really has a lot to say about us using our time wisely. Ephesians chapter 5 says we're to redeem the time because the days are evil. That means to buy up every opportunity, to use it in a stewardly fashion, to make sure that we are not frivolously wasting this precious time that God has given us because, hey, time's running out. Let's face it, we don't know when we're going to die. And as far as that goes, we don't know when Jesus is going to come. So we got those two things there that are running parallel. So we really can't afford to waste any of this precious fleeting time that God has given us. I want to discuss a few things that the devil will absolutely use to try to keep us from properly using the time that God has given us to fulfill this purpose. Two of them are found in Ecclesiastes chapter 7. And I want to read about 4 verses there that will actually name these two things. And I want to read them together, first of all, so that you can see the whole picture. Then we'll come back and talk about each one of these things individually. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 15. Solomon is talking about how vain his life has been and how vain it is. And he says, in this meaningless life of mine, I've seen both of these. I've seen the righteous perishing in their righteousness and the wicked living long in their wickedness. He's just simply saying that some men die at an early age, even though they're righteous, and some men live long despite the fact that they're wicked. That's all that he's saying. Here's where he begins to talk about these two things that I want us to discuss today. Verse 16, he says, do not be over righteous. That's a strange term, isn't it? You hardly ever hear that. Do not be over righteous, neither be over wise. Why destroy yourself? Then he says, do not be over wicked, and don't be a fool. Why die before your time? It's good to grasp one, not let go of the other. Whoever fears God will avoid all extremes. There it is right there. Whoever fears God will avoid all extremes. So that's what he's talking about. Don't be over righteous. Don't be over wicked. Avoid those extremes. And both of those will cause you to waste valuable time that God has given you. And Satan will use those things against you and me just like we have never even imagined. So let's talk about them. First of all, Satan will steal time and opportunity from us with religious extremes. Now, you can carry anything too far. You really can. I know some are, when I said that Sunday, I got all kind of funny looking looks and all kind of stuff, but really you can carry anything too far. Well, Russ, I didn't think you could ever be too righteous. No, it ain't about being too righteous. It's about being over righteous. That means being overbearing. When you are over righteous, you're trying to be smarter than God, and you're trying to be righteous in a way, by a way that he never intended. And what you end up doing is overdoing a good thing. Yeah, that's possible to do. You've heard the statement before that says a person can be so heavenly minded that they're of no earthly use. Well, that's a fact. You can really find people like that in society today. And when you find one, most of them are trying to depend on some good work that they're doing, like the Pharisees, for their salvation and for their relationship with God. And they'll nearly kill themselves trying to please God, to earn something from him, and to look righteous and spiritual in front of people. You will find those people from time to time that they just feel like they can't walk with God. They feel like that they've got to spend 6 hours a day in prayer and in study of the Word. 6 hours a day, every day, in prayer and in study of the Word. Or they can't be what they need to be with God. Now listen, friend, you should know me well enough to know by now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. If you get that opportunity and you do it, fine. But don't make it such a legalistic discipline that you do that and you end up just destroying yourself, wearing yourself out, missing out on the life that God could intend for you to have because you're stuck up somewhere trying to gain some form of righteousness that He never intended. Not only do they do that, but then you'll find people, they try to dress all kind of ways to earn something from God. Wear their hair all kind of ways and do this and don't do that and go here and don't go there. All kinds of things you will find people doing in that effort to please God and earn something from Him, and they end up being over righteous. Friend, let's put it where it needs to be here this morning. Let's trust that our righteousness comes by our faith in Jesus Christ, and let's grow in Him day after day, and let's stop killing ourselves with all of these frivolous things, thinking that we're going to earn something from God that way. You're not going to earn anything. You're going to wear yourself out. The devil's got you sidetracked, and you're wasting precious time being over righteous. Then he said, don't be over wicked. So number 2, Satan will steal time and opportunity by shortening people's lives with sinful extremes, either religious extremes or sinful extremes. I love that verse 17 of Ecclesiastes 7 says, don't be over wicked and don't be a fool. Why die before your time? Every time that the devil can prematurely take a life, because of sin's curse, he steals time and opportunity away from the church in reaching that man and away from that man in actually getting saved. If you want to avoid that trap and retain the time and the opportunity that's written in our divine destiny, the Bible tells us we've got to avoid religious extremes and we've got to avoid sinful extremes. It's just something that we've got to do. Well, hey, we've got one more thing to talk about this week, and we're going to talk tomorrow about how the devil will use the normal process of life to get us distracted and steal time away from us. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be an eye opener, I guarantee you. Hey, I've got to get out of here. It's been good being with you today. I look forward to being with you tomorrow on Friday's edition of Take 5. Till then, God bless you. Have a great day. Remember, friend, trust the Lord. He will never fail you.